sat in your lap in months, and even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff, even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm going to keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Cause that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold said so.
Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Woo! Yes, sir! What the rock is cooking! Now, welcome to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Friday for sure. Thank you so much for joining us this week here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network and bodyslam.net. This is Off the Mat. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. Of course, with me at this time, my co-host, Lyle Gillen. How you doing, man?
Doing good, dude. How about you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. It's Friday, so definitely can't complain for sure. Before we begin, of course, we can tell you how you can listen to our show and other shows as well by downloading the Worldwide Sports Radio Network app. If you have an iPhone, you go to the Apple Store, you type in WWSRN. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. You can also listen to the audio feed if you are driving or listen to it on the smart speaker. And we are on bodyslam.net. Check them out on their YouTube page as well, on their great website. And check out the brand new Worldwide Sports Radio Network website at worldwidesportsradio.com. Well, before we begin, first off, I had a great time last night with Speedy, who was here as well on the Sports Loudmouths. It was a lot of fun to be back there again. It's been over a year since I hosted that show last. So it was a lot of fun to fill in for Errol and to be able to just, seeing all the, and I said it last night, seeing all the comments from Jeff to Carl to Ben to just everybody, to my brother Pot chiming in, to Sam chiming in. It was just great to just talk to people again and see them all welcoming me back last night. And Speed and I had a great time last night. It was a great show. Definitely check it out. You can rewatch it on the YouTube page for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. But we are here. We have a lot to do. There's a lot going on. We're going to get into the Ric Flair stuff a little bit later on. Snug's already starting. He says, any night with Speedy is a good time. Damn Skippy it is. That's fact, Jack. For all women out there, by the way, he's single, so remember that. We'll get into the Ric Flair stuff later. We'll do some AEW Dynamite stuff. We're going to preview SummerSlam and what's going on. It's crazy how early it is this year because they're going to be in Wales next month, so they're doing SummerSlam early this year in Nashville. Snug writes, is it possible that Lyle is related to Alberto Del Rio? I don't know. No, I don't think that's the case. But of course, let's talk about we weren't on the air last week. But let's get into the topic that not just the wrestling world, but everybody around the world is talking about. It's the big elephant in the room, and that is Vince McMahon has officially retired from the WWE. It was effective immediately. It was announced last week. Stephanie McMahon has taken over, and Triple H has now taken over full creative control. Bruce Pritchard has been demoted. So Triple H is now fully in charge of all things creativity with the main roster now. And this is something that everybody was hoping for, that everybody was wishing for, that Vince would step aside. Obviously, all the allegations and stuff going on, he kind of didn't have a choice. And we all said we hoped that Triple H would eventually be able to run the WWE. Well, he is. They're moving to TV 14. They are now having him run it. Listen, we'll see what that means for some of his former NXT superstars that he did have, like Ciampa and those guys, and the women on the roster too. But you can't go wrong with it. Triple H built a ginormous brand in NXT. He was great. He did an unbelievable job expanding that brand with the black and gold. He also brought in a lot of really, really, really great wrestlers on the indie scene, and also that were well-known names that were in other companies like Ring of Honor and New Japan. He brought them in. You know, Adam Cole had an amazing run in NXT. Keith Lee had an amazing run in NXT. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Bailey, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. These are all these are all Triple H, findings that he found. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. You could go on with Triple H really finding a lot of these superstars and really expanding on that NXT brand, but then also bringing some other guys, bringing back like a Drew McIntyre, which, bringing in like a Bobby Roode, which Bobby was very over when NXT was going on. And to me, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I don't think WWE can go wrong with this. Like I said, let's give it time to season. Let it simmer. And then we'll come back to the table after. But this is what everybody wanted. Everybody was asking for this. They wanted it. Triple H run the company. They moved to TV 14. Let's see the uniqueness and the creativity that comes with it. Because Triple H did an unbelievable job with NXT. And, go figure. Triple H's first show running Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's as good as it gets for something like that. And we'll see SmackDown tonight how it goes. But he's running everything now. Live, I'm sure. I know you were ecstatic about it when you heard the news and everything like that. I mean,
I was very happy that Vince McMahon was gone. But at the end of the day, Stephanie is still running the company. And yeah, Triple H is doing creative, but I can't sit here and automatically assume it's sunshine and rainbows. I'm not gonna. I'm assuming it's gonna be business as usual, and then we'll see what happens later on. But I'm gonna still be very cautious with what they're gonna do. I'll believe it when I see it that it's a change.
I mean, to me, like I said, it comes into the point where I get it. Stephanie's still there, but what I believe is, and I understand where you come from, the whole nose with the sunshine and rainbow situation where let's see what happens. But to me, I mean, you knew some sort of McMahon was still going to run the company. I mean, they weren't going to make Triple H the CEO of the company. I don't think they would. I mean, it's still in the McMahon name. So therefore it's handed down to somebody. I would think Stephanie would trust her husband because I'm sure she knows her husband did a great job with NXT. I would also have to think because it is a pet marriage and a partnership, you would trust your husband. It's simple as that. It would make sense. If you can't trust your husband to do his job, can you trust your husband in a marriage? And vice versa.
I think that's extreme. I think it's just that they're going to want to keep it basically a lot similar to what Vince wanted. And they're going to do creative, but at the end of the day, a lot of the Vince McMahon isms that we know and hate are going to still be there.
I will say this. I watched the Raw on Monday at the Garden, and to me, it was a very good show.
But Vince wrote that show.
What?
Vince wrote that show.
No.
He wrote that one on Thursday. That was the last show that Vince wrote.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a good show. So, I mean, of course, it's at MSG, so I think that adds a little bit of an element because the crowd's different. The crowd's more into it, New York City. And they did sell out MSG. I think that helps, of course. But to me, what I find to be interesting is who will also Triple H want to bring in to work with. You know, I know Shawn Michaels is still in NXT, still doing that. You know, does he, you know, I know whatever his Road Dogg or something, he got let go. He's been begging apparently for a job.
I don't think he'll get it.
He's not going to get it. And everything from Tony Khan. He's been begging Tony Khan for a job.
That's definitely not happening.
No.
I thought you meant he's been begging Triple H since he took over.
No. No.
I've probably been texting him, but.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the word is out that he's been begging Tony Khan for a job, and Tony Khan has refused to get back to him. So, I mean, you look at it in this perspective, I think where this goes, I mean, like I said, let's give it time to develop. Let's give Triple H an opportunity, a fair shot. The guy did wonderful in NXT, so let's see how much of a role Vince has in this whole thing. If we see the show is improving and it's completely drastically different, maybe Vince is not having a role in it as much. I mean, let's
But
call
there are
it.
still people who think that he will have a role and he'll just be like off in the shadows doing stuff, not actually officially employed.
No, I mean the thing of it too is he sold all the shares.
He sold
From the
80% of it, or he
Right.
sold 90. It was like 80 or 90% of it. He still owns some of it.
It's a lot. That's a huge number. So the point being is, for this to unfold in the way it happened, but I mean, Dave Meltzer was on CNN the other day. I mean, like, this is no small little joke. Vince McMahon is a ginormous figure in this world, and everybody thought he would be in WWE until the day he died, and he is no longer.
But there was a report from Fightful about how what he has been like backstage, and it really does explain a lot about what he's been doing and why the show has been so bad.
Cargo's, did Lyle get that shirt at the Gap? He likes it. And then he goes,
No,
isn't
Coles.
They got it at Coles. Isn't the new CEO his son? Yes, his son-in-law. Yes, that's what we're explaining. Triple H is the new CEO. So, but to me, I think this is gonna. I mean, listen, it can't get any worse. It can't. I mean, Triple H. I trust him. I'll give it 5 or 6 months. I'm gonna be fair. I'll tune in. I'll watch it, and we'll see how it goes. And I think that's all we can do is give the guy a fair chance. Everybody gets chances in this world. Let's give him one. Let's give him an opportunity to show what he's capable of doing. So to me, I just think the biggest thing was Vince leaving. To me, I mean, it's very tough to find that there's ever going to be another Vince McMahon ever again in wrestling. I mean, people can try. Ted Turner tried. Tony Khan is trying. It's very difficult to have not just the amount of years in a row, but to be able to have the power that he had. It's very tough to be able to sustain that and maintain it. And as much as we can't stand him now, he did. He was a vital figure in wrestling. This goes back to his days with his father in the WWF, on the Eastern Territory. So to me, it was crazy to read that. I thought it was a joke at first. Somebody was trying to fool me, but
Vince tweeted it, not.
That's what it was. I didn't see the Vince tweet at first. Yes. So before I get corrected, I didn't see the Vince tweet at first. And everything like that. So to me, I just thought it was an interesting piece of information we got last week for sure. But let's get into it now. We've heard the reports now that this will be Ric Flair's last match again. I mean, I'm seeing Jeff Jarrett beat the crap out of him and making him bleed in the parking lot.
Well, Rick wanted to do a dive off the rope, and Charlotte made it, stopped it.
Well, so there we go with that.
So he might do stupid shit.
Yeah.
He's probably going to die in the ring tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to watch it. I mean, the card doesn't look great. I mean, the card looks pretty good, but honestly, that match is probably the worst match on the card.
Yeah.
I have no interest in watching a 70-something-year-old man who's had 6 billion surgeries continue to do this to himself. And he says it's not about the money. The guy has a lot of payment issues. I find it very hard to believe. I give Jeff Jarrett a lot of kudos. He's going to be for SummerSlam tomorrow and then wrestling Ric Flair on Sunday. So,
that's right. That match is going to be on Sunday. That's right. Okay. SummerSlam's on Saturday. Yep. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, so StarCast is they're doing StarCast this weekend there as well. To me, I have no interest in watching it. I don't need to see Ric Flair wrestle again. I think Rick should have ended it with the match against Shawn at WrestleMania. That was one of his best matches he ever had. It was one of the best matches on that WrestleMania card at the time. It was an excellent match between the two with the storytelling and stuff. And then he said, I'm done. And then he goes to Impact. And then he comes back for appearances in WWE. And then he goes to AAA for every now and then an appearance with Andrade. It's constant involvement. But when you know, and I know he just got divorced again and everything. He says it's not about the money, Rick. I don't buy it. I don't. Like, if it's not about the money, then what do you have left to prove then? You're one of the best wrestlers in the world, in the history of professional wrestling. I don't understand what there is left to even do or why have this match. Or why, to me, it just doesn't make any sense as to, like, and it's, I understand the storytelling with Jay Lethal getting involved because Lethal was trying to return Rick back to the ring. Then Lethal couldn't get into the press conference. He felt slighted. And then obviously Jeff Jarrett was going to get involved because Jarrett tried to help Rick. And Rick called him a bunch of names, called his father a name. And that's when Jarrett got pissed. And then, of course, he recruits Andrade to be his partner because Andrade's his son-in-law. To me, the match just does not excite me at all. Doesn't get me juiced up. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to watch it. The card looks good. The main event is the worst match on the card, which is obviously the Ric Flair match. I don't need to see a 70-something-year-old man wrestle anymore. Don't. It just, there's no point in it. He has nothing left to prove when it comes to having this fight.
It's a money grab.
That's exactly.
It's a money grab.
That's what it is. And that's why when he says it's not about the money, I say it's BS. Of course it's about the money.
Yeah.
What else is
his wife divorced him, so he might need money.
His wife did divorce him, yes. Yes, recently, yes. So he's only had like 50 billion different marriages and, you know, everything like that. But it's, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me on this. Lyle, what are your thoughts on this match and this card itself? Like, are you going to spend money on this show?
I don't know. It'll be a winning moment if I do. I think that the match will not. I don't think he'll be doing much in the match. He might just do his classic Ric Flair spots, and that's about it. But no, I don't expect him to do much. I think that I don't know. I don't expect him to do much. I think he'll do the classic stuff, but that's it.
Well, I will say this: I am not going to be buying that pay-per-view. I have better things to do than spend my money on that and watch a Ric Flair do 2 moves in a woo. I could go watch that on YouTube. So, with that said, if you want to watch Ric Flair's last match Sunday, have at it, go crazy, have a great time, and you can watch it. Great, good for you, and everything of that sort. So, we have a few more minutes before we go to break. Let's get to a little bit of SummerSlam, which is already tomorrow. We know Brock Roman is having their final match together tomorrow. The report is what they really want to do is have McIntyre be the one to face Roman in Wales next month. Roman was never going to lose this match tomorrow, I don't think. We'll see if that's the case. Things change, obviously, on the fly. For me, SummerSlam this year is, mean, listen, it's going to be cool. It's going to be in Nissan Stadium, which is a beautiful football stadium. It's really nice. They have a great crowd there tomorrow, and everything of that sort. But what I'm really looking forward to the most when it comes to this card is it's more so this is going to be really Triple H's first. I mean, unless you stick with what Vince wrote, Triple H, this is his first pay-per-view that he's getting. So who knows? Maybe he changes things under the table. We don't know. But we know
he was the one who took Seth off the pay-per-view.
Yes, I know Seth came off the pay-per-view, I think, because Riddle got hurt.
No, I think that was all. From my understanding, is that he was not hurt. It was just a way to write the match off the card.
Huh. Interesting.
My understanding.
So maybe they're trying to shorten it. Maybe, who knows? Never know. We'll see. But I know you're probably not. I mean, maybe you'll watch tomorrow. I don't know if you will. I know I will. I'll try to tune in tomorrow to watch it. Check it out, just to get an atmosphere feel of it. I'm excited to see the Street Profits versus the Usos. That's going to be a good match. I think that's really the one match that I could sit there and I could say yes, I am excited about that. You got Liv and Ronda tomorrow. I'm very curious to see how Liv does now with higher competition. I mean, Ronda can't be any worse on the mic than she. Ronda probably had her best promo last week when she didn't do it in front of a crowd. She did backstage, probably pre-recorded. That was probably her best, I would think. So and everything like that. But we're gonna go to a quick break right now. When we come back, we're gonna get into some AEW conversation. We will get into our finishing move, and again, we're gonna end it a little bit early today because again, I have to be somewhere, so we are going to end a little bit on the earlier side, but let's take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to get into some AEW conversation. This is Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. don't worry, I know what to do. Tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth? You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Are you ready?
Now welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Slows, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the last 15-20 minutes or so here for Off the Mat. Again, got to leave a little bit early today, but that's okay. We're still on, and that's the important
Donkey
thing.
Kong. Oh, I like Donkey Kong.
Unlike Donkey Kong, that's right. It's a great video game, by the way. Classic video game. Do you like the classic one, or do you like the N64 one?
N64, nothing's better than N64.
So you don't like the classic one that you played at the arcades?
N64 is better because it's N64.
Okay, I can see this conversation is great. Yes. So we were talking earlier. We're going to get to some AEW conversation, and then we are going to get to our finishing move. So really quick, we'll recap off the mat. We're going to recap AEW Dynamite this past week, and there's really a lot of things to take. Obviously, we know Anna Jay is now part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I know we were not on last week. I will say this quickly. My opinion on that main event between Kingston and Jericho was, I said it on Twitter. I did not like it.
I expected more.
Expected a lot more. It felt very rushed.
Yes, it did.
That's what happens when you give a barbed wire death match 12 minutes. There were too many things happening. There were too many things going on. They couldn't even get this. And what's her name?
She couldn't get the cage open. Yeah, they had to come. They had to turn around and walk through the cage.
They had to slip through it. I was like, oh my! I was like watching. I'm like, oh my god! I said, this is a mess. I said, this is such a mess right now. And it was just, I don't know. It felt just extremely rushed, messy, sloppy, too much happening. I was not a fan. But again, that's what happens when you give it a 12. When you give it I thought the match would have started at 9:35. You have your breaks every now and then. No, they started wrestling at 9:47. And I was just like, what? That was also another thing. And also, it was so obvious. Everybody from the Jericho Appreciation Society is in the cage. Did nobody think to try to find Sammy Guevara anywhere and say where the hell?
Yeah, that was a little weird too. They didn't even mention oh, hey, he's not here because he.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
would have done that and then had Sammy in the shark suit. I would have said, oh yeah, he's not here because he was injured. And then you have him come out in the shark suit. I think that would have been a better way to do that than that.
Turned out it was Nyla Rose in the shark suit.
Yeah, and the thing is, everyone was thinking it was someone else, and then she went and spoiled it on Twitter that it was her. So everyone knew. Okay, so that's not going to be a surprise later tonight.
Yeah, like it just didn't. I'm like watching. I'm going. Did we forget that Sammy Guevara's and Ty Conti are in the group? Like they should be in there too. That didn't make sense to me. The whole thing was weird. But besides that, very interesting main event this past week. And also we'll get to a little bit of Ring of Honor. Death Before Dishonor was a great show. Death Before Dishonor was a really, really good show. But Daniel Garcia had a very interesting week this week. Had a tough loss to Willie Yuta last week at Death Before Dishonor. If you saw it, Yuta went on a roll up. And then this week he goes out there and he beats Bryan Danielson. And to me, I'm very curious with where
I love that match. I thought they did a great job of selling the head injury and continuing that whole thing. Like I think it was definitely a little bit of a weird thing, but I thought it fit well. I liked it. I thought it was great. A great way to get heat. I enjoyed it. I think Daniel Garcia is phenomenal.
Oh, he's very good. I mean, his mic skills are not the best, but he's a very good.
I think he's fine on the mic.
I think some things need to be fixed, but I think he's an excellent in-ring competitor, and also Jake Hager interfering as well kind of helps it as well. It saves Danielson's face a little bit. The biggest thing that a lot of people are talking about is the Trios tag team belts came out, and then of course the Young Bucks go and they see Hangman Adam Page backstage, and you have next week the who's back next week? The Elite, Undisputed Elite is back next week. So they'll be back. So I'm kind of curious now where this goes, because I feel like you're going to see Adam Cole was going to pick Red Dragon to be his tag team partners for those belts, and it's going to piss the Young Bucks off. And that's where I think eventually this whole thing is going to break apart. Like I can kind of feel that that's where they're going with this. I love it. I love the fact that I really want to see Hangman back with the Young Bucks. I want to see it. I want the Elite back together. I want it all. I want Omega back. Bring him back. Go at it that way. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I want to see eventually, who knows when Roderick Strong is going to be let go. Maybe he comes in. You go Undisputed Era versus the Elite, which would be a fantastic storyline. Get all that. That would be really, really, really cool to watch. I thought that was good. By the way, really quick, if you have not got a chance to watch RJ City's YouTube show, Hey, EW, it is hysterical. Watch it. It's so funny. He pisses off every single person he interviews, from Adam Cole to Britt Baker to Chris Statlander to Ricky Starks. It's very funny.
I'll check it out.
Definitely. RJ City is one of the funniest wrestlers out there. Speaking of Ricky Starks, it seems like Team Taz is officially broken up. They are no more. Since Taz is also now a full-time commentator, I guess they probably just thought that it didn't make sense for him to be a manager of a team anymore, which is fine. Ricky is going to do wonders as a face.
100% agree.
And not as he is very good as a heel. My God. I mean, you have to remember, he was a face in NWA. He was a face there. And he did really well. I think his promos are going to be great. He's obviously going to have a rivalry with Hobbs now. But Team Taz is no more. They've broken up. Brian Cage is out. I know Tully Blanchard's no longer the manager anymore over there. But to me, I really like the idea of Ricky becoming a face. Fits him well. He's done it before. He's used to it. And he was great of a heel as he was. Some guys, to me, I think they can be a face or they can be a heel. It works for some people it works. They could go both ways. I think Ricky is one of those talented guys that can flip the script and go as a face and be that person and be in the conversation for the TNT championship at some point, because that guy deserves a TNT title run at some point. It really does. So he'll start a rivalry with Hobbs. We know that. We now know Hook has the FTW championship. Again, and to me, I just think this was coming off the heels of Death Before Dishonor, which was, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, definitely you should go watch it if you're a wrestling fan. The Briscoes and FTR, amazing match. That was one of the greatest tag team matches I ever saw. Dave Meltzer gave them 5 stars. Well deserved. And what was interesting was they posted on the AEW page an interview with the Briscoes after the match was over. Obviously, Warner doesn't want them there. I just think it's interesting because you have to remember the Briscoes have now signed a full-term Ring of Honor contract where they can no longer work with Impact or any of them anymore. It's only on Ring of Honor's terms. That's probably Tony's way of trying to get them, but this is the closest he can get to having them since they can't be on Warner TV. So maybe if they start a YouTube channel network or they put Ring of Honor on another network, I don't know. At least you now have the Briscoes in your pocket.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to use Honor Club and have a show on there every week, and they're going to I think eventually Honor Club will become like something different, where they pretty much use that as a streaming service for AEW and Ring of Honor together.
That would be a smart idea.
So they already have everything there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything is already there. Yeah. Everything is. I miss their old merchandise page where I used to see everything for like $5. It was awesome. And now it's like on Pro Wrestling Tees now, and everything's like $25 again. And like,
so what did you think of the Young Bucks Hangman segment?
Oh, I loved it. I said it before about it.
It was a great teaser. It was a great teaser.
Oh yeah, I said it before. I think that's where the trios belts came in, and I think this is what's going to start the Undisputed Elite's downfall, because Adam Cole is going to want to go after those belts, and 100% he's going to pick Red Dragon, and the Bucks are going to slide it, and then Hangman's going to come out and.
I think that will happen, but I think when it gets, I guess it'll be Undisputed Elite versus Young Bucks and Hangman at All Out, but maybe the Wednesday before, Undisputed Elite will attack Hangman, get him out of the match, and that's when Kenny comes back.
That would be interesting. I mean, then you now have an issue of, does Hangman feel slighted again because they replaced him? And then you got to figure that part out. And
they could still do it in a way that works. They could do it where Hangman calls Kenny.
That would work. That would work. I mean, Kenny's now been up for, I believe, 248 days now, if I'm not mistaken. I have that countdown person on.
Also, FTR did make a comment on Twitter where they kind of hinted that it could be them and CM Punk going in this tournament.
That would be another one. I think
because Punk doesn't need to do much.
No. Dax does have his torn labrum now, and so they have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, torn labrum.
Yeah, it's torn labrum.
When that happened at Forbidden Door?
Yes, and it got worse. It's gotten worse. So they're so on fire right now that they need to be very cautious with them. The last thing they need is for Dax to be injured, and then they can't wrestle, and then they have to relinquish all their titles. That would be the worst thing possible for FTR. So you have to, you have to be very careful with this kind of injury, because what can happen is it can tear so much. Right now, he doesn't need surgery, but eventually, like, it could heal on its own. But eventually, if it gets bad, that's when it becomes an issue. Christopher Brown writes, the CEO duties are being split between Nick Khan and Stephanie. Yes, know that. But they need, the last thing they need is for anybody in FTR, whether it's Dax or Cash, to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because God forbid, if those guys get hurt and they have to relinquish all those titles, all that momentum they've been spending on the past 6 months,
even more than that. Yeah.
It's done. And all that work is gone. And to me, I think this is the time where I think you can let FTR do their interviews. They don't have to wrestle. Give them the next month and a half off, or at least get them off before All Out. Let them rest for the next month. Do their promos because Dax and Cash can give one, and don't let Dax wrestle in the ring. Let Cash be the singles wrestler. Cash is no slouch. I know they like Dax more as a singles wrestler, but Cash is a really good one. You know, I know Cash doesn't have the mic skills that Dax has. We know that, but it goes back to you know, when Arn and Tully were working together, you know, you can make the case that as great as a wrestler. That's where it came. So I think
Hello? Hello?
it's a dynamic they have.
Okay, well, welcome to the Lyle Show. Well, we're going to be talking about we'll talk about the Elite. You know, could have Hangman come back. I really think this story could culminate. And now, if they're going to become a face group again, I think it's just a tremendous story where you go from them being ultra faces and that you can see the breakup going and happening, and then you see where they go from being heels after turning on Hangman and Hangman becoming champion, and then everything coming back together for them becoming friends again.
We're not just going to be talking about the Elite.
Well, you were gone, and I had to fill a few.
Yeah, I know. I saw what you were doing. Now I saw it. You're like, welcome to the Lyle Show. You know what? Honestly, I could have just not come back. So it's cool.
Well, why don't we do our finishing move at that?
We'll do our finishing move right now. So I wanted to make it back into Fed. So, I'll start first. For me, my finishing move is really watching Ring of Honor. Last week was unbelievable. It was great. Claudio Castagnoli and Jonathan Gresham. Even though I know Gresham is not on good terms with AEW anymore. You know, it was a great match. There wasn't really a bad match on the card. Honestly, I thought every match was really good. I enjoyed it very much. It felt just like pure professional wrestling watching that card. So kudos to ROH and everything like that. So that's mine. Lyle, what's yours?
Mine is that, you know, so Ric Flair gave his Mount Rushmore during an interview, and I think it's a travesty that Misawa and Kenta Kobayashi never get the credit that they deserve for what they did in Japan. I don't know why, but everyone decides to just skip over Japanese wrestlers and what they've done for the industry. And I think it's pretty horrible, and I think wrestlers from Japan deserve the credit that they do deserve. And hopefully in the future, that is something that every wrestler from Japan can do. It just, I don't understand why everyone treats it like they're on an island somewhere and they're non-existent. Yeah, they're on an island, but the impact that they have had on professional wrestling in the entire world is pretty huge. It's also way more popular over there than it is over here.
Who was the four that he named?
Undertaker.
Okay.
Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels. Actually, might not have said Hulk Hogan. Let me look that up. He said Stone Cold. Yeah, he did say Hogan. Yep. But in my opinion, over HBK and possibly even Taker, Misawa, and Kenta Kobayashi deserve to be in there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to our show this week. We will be back next week at 6 o'clock. We'll be back at normal time next week at 6 o'clock. We'll recap SummerSlam. We'll recap AEW. We're going to recap a lot of different things that's all happening. Really quick before we go, here's what you can do. You listen to our show by downloading our app. If you have an iPhone, you go to the Apple Store, type in WWSRN. And Android, you go to the Google Play Store, Type in Worldwide Sports. Check us out at worldwidesportsradio.com. You can also check out on the ticker down below our Off the Mat website. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, at Periscope. And we're also on bodyslam.net. Check them out as well on their YouTube page and all of that good stuff. Lyle, I will talk to you, man. Have a great weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy SmackDown tonight. Enjoy Rampage. Enjoy SummerSlam. Enjoy Ric Flair's pay-per-view on Sunday. Enjoy Raw Monday, Dynamite Wednesday. And we will talk to you all about it next Friday right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network and bodyslam.net. Have a good weekend, everybody. Kenny Omega, take it away.
I must bid you adieu, so say with me now if you know it. Goodbye, and good night.
Thank you for listening to Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, your source for all things wrestling and sports entertainment. It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was